and we're just gonna need to communicate because we're not gonna have as much help as a newborn, as a couple that has a new baby with.
We're not gonna have as much help as if we were near our families.
Well, yeah, but like what as a
I need some time to think. Because I must keep talking, I'm gonna think out loud.
I don't know. We're not gonna have as much help as normal people would have if they were in a stationary home. What is up, y'all? Just me and my pregnant wife sitting here. This wonderful bench, enjoying a pop, and we're just contemplating life. We were just thinking about how life is gonna change soon here when we have this bebe, and it's interesting. So we're gonna make this video about how things are gonna change when we have a baby, especially on the road. And I don't know if we are making this for people who want to have babies on the road, or if we're making it for ourselves just to like calm our nerves.
Maybe a little bit of both.
But either way, we were just talking about like scenarios, and we're like, when we're on the road by ourselves, this and that, and like how we're gonna do this, how we're gonna do that, and basically we're just gonna figure it out.
We've been traveling full time for 3 years, so we've got that nailed down pretty well. We have our routine and our our kind of schedule and our preferred method of travel with our 2 dogs, but of course everything is going to change quite a bit, bringing an infant into the mix.
Don't you mean a rugrat?
A rugrat, sure, an adventurous rugrat.
Alright, so I think we're gonna start off talking about travel days. I feel like that is something that probably concerns a lot of people with a newborn. We plan on getting back on the road hopefully as soon as possible, hopefully within 1 month. We'll see how that all goes, obviously. But our kind of game plan is to, drive for, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then stop for an hour or so, like whatever we feel like. We're just really planning on having a much more leisurely travel days, and if we do need to make a long drive, yes, it will be a very long day. There's going to be a lot of stops. We'll be stopping for lunch, we'll be stopping for breaks, we'll be stopping for bottles and all that kind of stuff.
I think our travel days just in general are going to be shorter, maybe less ambitious. Planning to make more stops, not drive as far, and like you said, even if it does end up being a long day, we may not cover so much ground, and
yeah, which is okay. And we've done a lot of long drives in the past. We've done 10-12 hour drives, but like we don't even enjoy those anyway, so it's not really a big deal to start traveling this way that we prefer anyways.
So we're probably going to be planning our route a little bit more carefully, maybe a lot of it more carefully, and then have multiple options like laid out ahead of where we plan to stop if necessary. We'll probably pay more attention to the weather because, weather might be a concern if it gets really hot in the RV or really cold on a particular day.
Not worried. We got AC, bro. Solar.
So we'll just pay more attention to that. And we're probably going to try to drive during nap time so that baby can chill and nap. And then be awake when it's time for feedings and burpings and all of those sorts of things. So hopefully that works out. Another thing we're going to do is find pediatricians in different areas that we want to travel. Make appointments ahead of time because we don't really plan to stop traveling if we don't feel the need to. So it's going to be important to kind of plan that ahead, make appointments ahead of time, and then also, in case of emergency, know how to contact a pediatrician on call, and then knowing where urgent care centers and local hospitals are. So we don't pay a whole lot of attention to that nowadays because we never really have had to, even though it's never a bad idea, but we're definitely going to be paying more attention to that moving forward with a little baby to take care of.
Okay, so you guys know we're huge boondockers, and we want to continue to boondock. We have done so much work to this new travel trailer in order to get it set up for a baby to make things easier. You guys know we did a huge solar install, which is great. We went kind of overkill with the solar because we didn't want to be out there having to go outside, fire up a generator, or have issues. Hopefully we don't have any issues. We wanted to be able to run the air conditioner in case we get a random hot day. I grew up with no AC my whole life, and obviously I survived, but I just feel like it's just nice to have air conditioning, especially when you're boondocking off solar.
And nice to have pretty much as much power as we want.
Yes, and so another thing we did was we switched our toilet to a composting toilet. The main reason we did that, well, there's two main. I would say that the main reason is the fact that we do not have to worry about black tank being full. Let's say you're boondocking for an extended period of time, you're like, black tank's full, we have to move, or we're literally going, number 2 out in the woods. So with a composting toilet, basically it's full, you can just bag it up and you can go and dispose of that, and then the trailer can stay exactly where it is. The other reason is it saves a ton of water. You're not flushing every time you go 1 or 2, and it just saves a lot of water, which is super nice.
Yeah. So because of the composting toilet and the fact that we also got ourselves a 90-gallon water bladder. 95-gallon external water bladder. We're not going to have to pay as much attention to our water consumption, which is something that is going to be really nice for us when we're probably having to do a lot of dishes, cleaning baby bottles, and those sorts of things.
Poopy diapers, and poopy clothes. Diapers you throw away, but
yeah.
Those are a few things that we did in anticipation, knowing that we were pregnant, knowing we were gonna have a baby, knowing that we still wanted to boondock. So those are kind of the reasons why we did those mods, and we're looking forward to using them.
We'll be definitely moving more slowly, so the stays for boondocking will be longer. We'll probably be taking advantage of the full time limit that we can stay a place, which in many of the boondocking spots that we like, it's 14 days. Moving a lot more slowly is definitely going to be
Definitely key,
big part of that. We're just gonna have to find a new travel pace that works best for our growing little family.
So another thing we did in preparation for having a child is we felt like it was needed to have an additional vehicle. So obviously you guys know we have the Ram and we have the Wagoneer as well. And as far as I know, we plan on bringing both of them back on the road with us. Travel days may be slightly more difficult because we don't have 2 of us in one vehicle to help with the baby and one person to drive. But once we get to a spot, that was one of the main concerns, is like only having one vehicle. Let's say I go to do laundry or go grocery shopping or something like that, then she's left in the camper with, no vehicle in case there's an emergency. So that was kind of one of our big things. So it's a safety factor, and I think it'll be good. We're excited for that.
Hopefully we can bring the Jeep on the road with us.
Yeah, hopefully we get all the kinks worked out.
Obviously, another major thing that we're going to have to modify is our activity style. If you've been watching our channel for a while, you know that we really like mountain biking, off-roading, and hiking. Hiking will be easy to do with a kid. Well, easier than mountain biking and off-roading at least. So for mountain biking specifically, we're probably only going to bring one bike, and one of us will go mountain biking at a time. Most likely that person's going to be Jessie, and maybe it'll be the same thing with off-roading. We don't really know. We're just going to kind of play that one by ear, and use our best judgment to decide when it's going to be okay to bring the baby on off-road trails with us. So we might start out with just some mellow fire road type stuff and then kind of work our way up from there once, the head stabilization and all of that gets a little bit more developed with our kid. But as far as hiking, that's something that we can pretty much start doing right away. So we'll have a baby carrier to be able to carry them and wear them. And eventually when they get a little bit bigger, we'll have a baby backpack where, we can just carry them along on our back and venture out on the trails as a family.
So this isn't something that's necessarily going to change, but we know that communication is going to be key.
Did you forget how to have a conversation?
It's basically going to be us out on the road. Yes, we have a lot of road friends that we meet up with, but we can't put responsibility of our child on them. So there's going to be a lot of times, like Melissa said, we're doing activities by ourselves, and we're just going to need to communicate because we're not going to have as much help as normal people would have if they were in a stationary home, because you have grandparents and friends and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to communicate more and realize when someone else, vice versa, needs a break and whatnot, and is getting aggravated and needs to just go for a drive in the Jeep and get out of the trailer. So we're gonna have to communicate a lot.
That person's gonna be me.
Oh, sure.
Well guys, if you came to this channel looking for your own tips for RVing with a baby, we hope that we helped you think of something that maybe you hadn't considered before. Also, if you have any suggestions for us, please let us know. This is clearly our first time doing this. The baby hasn't even come yet. So we aren't really sure what we're getting ourselves into, but we will figure it out along the way. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things, is to just kind of
Just go with the flow,
go
man.
with the flow.
These are a lot of things that we just talk about on our morning walks, and I don't, like I said in the beginning, I don't know if we're making this video for ourselves or for you guys, but we're kind of like, okay, like these are things we have to keep in mind. Like, it's gonna change, but there's absolutely no reason we can't travel full time. There's absolutely no reason we can't boondock. We can't do all these things that we want to do and we were doing and we want to continue doing. So, don't limit yourselves just because you had a child. Like, don't think that your life is ending. Like, a lot of people kind of think that way, which is weird to me.
Yeah.
Or you can't do X or Y. Like, you can still do everything. You're just gonna have to modify it and make it work between you and your spouse and your baby.
Yeah.
And it's that simple, really.
It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be hard. It'll be exhausting. But anything that is worth doing is not easy. So I'm ready for the challenge. What about you?
Yay, baby. I mean, ready is relative, right? But thanks for watching, guys. We hope you found this video interesting. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments.
Thanks for watching.